Hi everybody, it's James, and welcome back to TGWPIS FC. We're here! It's the start of a new season! It's also the end of a transfer special, but does a transfer special really end when you're in non-league? Good questions. There have been some major outs, there's been a few additions, but all in all the squad isn't changed that much from what you would recognize at the end of last season. But let's start off with who we lost. And there's been quite a few. So at the end of last season, these are the guys we lost. Everybody, Arthur Musavoyan has moved on to Crusaders. As I've said it multiple times before, he was a guy who was going to lead us to glory in the earlier stages, but never really developed with us once we started really climbing up those leagues. I was happy to have him. We've got 1.5K for him. And I'm happy that he's at least going to be going and playing some football, but not really looking at it because it looks like they're immediately trying to loan him back out again. Jimmy Cajon was looking for 300 pounds a week. I didn't want to give him 300 pounds a week, so we sold him for 650 pounds. He was a great servant to the club, somebody who's really good, but at 33, he was not somebody we could sustain keeping, and now he's on 450 pounds a week playing for Barrow. Sam Burns, you might remember him. We sold him to Warsaw. He didn't want to be here too much anymore. He wasn't getting much playing time. I was happy to just let him go. And with that, he went. We got money. There we are. Jude Russell. Remember Jude Russell? Another guy who wouldn't sign a contract with us. Wanted like 300 pounds a week. I wasn't willing to give that to him, so we sold him. 1.2K. Nice chunk of change. He's now with Crew Alexander, probably in the under 23s. Yes, I know there was another one there. We're going to talk about him in a second. Brett Murphy went to Derrigan on a free. We just weren't going to use him. He's okay, but he's never going to be a great wingback for us, so I let him go. Lucas Petoni, one of our Paraguayan contingent, went to Sheffield United Wednesday. I re-signed him and gave him a non-league contract, and Sheffield Wednesday said thank you and took him. Perils of it. Ryan Attard went out on loan, as did a signing that we made, Adam Glenn. We sent him back on loan to his parent club so he could finish up the season there in Ireland. Looks pretty he's going to be a very solid signing for us. He's also very young at 18, so I was happy to let him do that. And yes, I know, you probably saw him sitting here at the end. Jack Vale has left us and has gone to St. Johnstone. Now, this was a tough one to do because obviously Jack had a killer season for us. But St. Johnstone came in with 150,000 pounds, raising up to 190,000 pounds plus a 20% sell-on clause. And he was very much like, I will become very upset if you don't let me speak to them. So I was like, okay, well, we'll let you speak to them. The money was good, and yeah, it's pretty much brought our balances back up and made us fungible and physically well for the next little while. So we loved him. I would have loved to have kept him. I know he would have killed it in this league, but you want to know what? The money was too good, and we're not holding anybody back. So we moved him on. And now we have a lot of money and not a lot to sell, not a lot to buy things there. So, some ins. I'm not sure if you guys saw these guys or not at the end of last season. There were a lot of free agent ins. William Gallagher is a under 18 striker from Man City that we brought in. Sonny Crane, Conrad Kaminsky. I think we talked about all of these guys. Chris Gleep, they're all in there. Ryan Evans, who was a striker we brought in from the same place where we brought Glenn in from. But he's just kind of in the developmental phase too. But now coming into here, you can see we have all frees. Zlane Scott Dewsbury is a wingback that we brought in from Chelsea on a free. 6'2", very reasonable, highly pacey acceleration, can dribble. All right. The big thing though about him is he can play anywhere up the left and right hand side. We found our bench wingback guy. He's also a breakthrough prospect, so he's not expecting to get a whole ton of game time, which is very nice. Marek Sek is he's English, but he's also a Czech 34-year-old goalkeeper. He's a backup. Brought him in to be a backup. He's 34. He's well-traveled. He is solid. He has decent determination. I don't ever expect to have him play, though I will probably start him in a couple of cup games. Just that's what he's here for, man. He's just here to be an experienced backup keeper. It's not something we've had, but Jakak is still the guy. I found some people who could have been a little bit better than Jakak, but he's already earned our trust. From Tottenham is Darko Dean. He is a midfielder, defensive midfielder, but also can play on the right-hand side. This guy is probably going to be a wing back for us. And he's our second option at right wing back. All things considered. Physically good, mentally he's got the defensive stats, and he's not too bad when it comes to marking and tackling. Crossing and dribbling could be a little bit better, but with a guy who could be an attacking fullback, we're not going to complain too much. And he definitely could grow with us. He's 2.5 stars potential, could be up to 4.5. You're not going to complain about that. Our starting right back, though, is Dan right here, Daniel Oyoke. I'm going to go with that, and I'm probably just going to call him Daniel. He is a little bit more well-rounded than our previous guy. You can see his dribbling and his crossing a little higher. He's got more hires to 10s than he does not. His pace and his acceleration are there, too, which we love to see. He also is obviously English, and he has a fairly determined personality, which is going to help us out in our squad. Imagine also our boy Paul Diallo here will probably get a few starts as well. The guy we picked up last year from Manchester City. Once again, he's more of a mentally solid fullback, but I can see him kind of coming in and doing a lot of damage. So a lot of good stuff there. And then finally, Adam Glenn, who's another right back we brought in, but we immediately loaned back out again, so we don't have to worry about him. And yeah, that's the transfer business. Not a ton. Now, granted, we saw how last year's list is became this long. That shows you how much this is. And this is what our squad looks like now. It's very small compared to what we had last time. But I think we finally, through 2 years, have gotten rid of most of the bloat. Thomas is gone, kind of like the older guys we're bringing in. I'm working at bringing in one more center back, because as it stands right now, we have essentially 5, and I'd like to have one more just to make it 6, because then it's you could do almost rotate a fully if you need to. But besides that, I'm very happy with the squad. We have 2 strikers. We've got Sonny Crane, who can play, 2 guys who can play as attacking mid, a couple of midfielders, wing backs, strikers, and some goaltenders. Now, the big thing is that we all know that something what can definitely happen is that obviously because we're lower league, and as we get closer and closer to the season and stuff goes on, people become more available because their expectations drop and they're not being picked up by teams. So there's always that to look at. Balance sheet looking pretty healthy. We've had a couple of down months, but that's because we haven't been playing any football games. Got $100,000 in the transfer budget, 108. Got decent enough wage budget. We're currently underspending what we're expected. So everything is looking good. And as for our competitions here, they want us to win promotion by winning the league, which I think is very doable. We have, once again, almost everybody in the Dream 11, Media Dream 11, and our 2 boys are going to be there. Though you can see AFC Sudbury, who came up with us, is also poised to that. So a lot of promoted teams, kind of poised to be in a good position here. Besides from that, in the league, they want us to reach the 4th. We're expected to reach the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup, which is, I think, very fair, considering we enter in the 1st qualifying round. They want us to be in the 3rd round of the FA Trophy, and they don't really care about the Southern League Cup because it's not important to us. And I would agree. So, rotational squads, plus, we really don't have any under 18s. Our entire youth team, our under 23s is one guy. And even then, yeah, that's it. Almost everybody else is playing for us on the first team. Now, I've got coaches and stuff because in case we get players, but that's pretty much it. So where does that take us? Well, AFC Rushton and Diamonds are who we played today at Hayden Road. Nice thing about us, too, is that we actually own our stadium now. Our team bought our stadium. So we can eventually annoy them to try and get us to build more of it. Though they improved the youth facilities, and now they're looking at improving training facilities, which is very nice of us. For us. So we're getting our facilities bet. So we're going to now have just poor training facilities instead of basic. We're getting places, folks. We're getting places. Hopefully, too, we get a little bit more seating-wise because we are starting to max out there. Other stuff on the agenda, they're improving our training facilities, and we are looking for a senior affiliate, or we should still be looking for a senior affiliate. I don't know why we stopped that. Let's talk about today's game. Oh, that's looking good. And how we line up now. So how we line up, really only two players different in the starting 11 than we would have seen last year. And to be honest, one of them was with the team. He just wasn't starting. We have Jakak in goal, a back three of Hernandez, Antonsen, and Mumboya. Madu has gone onto the bench. He got placed on international duty, but Antonsen is a little bit older and 6'6", and just a little bit better. So, but it allows us some rotation. Daniel and Kitching as right back and left wing back. We've got Ponzo and Chalmers, Casa, Jenna as the advanced forward, and then Epa as a pressing forward. He can do a deep line forward role, but as a pressing forward, he's more prone to that. And also then we're not worrying about his whole fact that he's got 6 vision and 8 passing. I want these front three to be the nuisance going forward and everything else. On the bench, we have Mark, Merrick Shek. We've got Zane Scott, Dudeberry, Madhu, Sonny Crane, and Chris Giles. Pretty simple. Let's jump right in. Let's see how the boys handle their first match in the Southern Division Premier South, Southern League Premier Central. That's what it is. Do that. We're favorites. Go out there and show them reason why. Let them know that I want them to make me proud. And it's all good. It was great. We were actually able to sign some guys to some contracts, and we're actually getting to the point where we can sign guys on 2-year deals. So for instance, Casa's deal doesn't end at the end of this season, but at the end of the 2026 season. And I think it's the same with Jenna as well. So that was huge for us. Absolutely huge. Because now we can not have to play I got to get these guys new contracts at the end of every year. I may still have to because they want them, but I don't need because I would lose them. I'll have the leverage to be able to sell them if need be. So, this is the new but old look TGWPIS FC side. Chalmers sends the ball in, and Boy is there. Heads it over the bar. Very new, but very much similar. And all the guys are looking the same. Chalmers again, and Mboya. It's a penalty. Now, I have set the penalty takers and everything now. So, it should be our man, Captain Casa, now on penalties. And in the new league, the man who's been with us the longest, the man who I think is tied for most appearances for the club today, Darlin Casa, gets the penalty. A lot is going to be riding on this man's shoulders this year, I think. He is, our best player. He's not our best player, but he's more weird. He's not star-wise or stat-wise our best player. But just like the eye test-wise, Casa has always been just that kind of a guy. And somebody who can really deal some damage here is Ponzo, Vice Chalmers. He's got Ngoye, Daniel on the side. Sends it through. And if that stands, that shows you, once again, he may not have the best attributes, but when it comes to the eye test, who does it better? By the way, hell of a cross on your debut. That is a monster ball into that area. Jesus. Casa's on a first half brace. Now we can start really look at pushing forward and staking our claim here to show why we are the favorites in the league. Ponzo sends the ball in. Mboya is at the back post. But I guess it was offside. Offside, but even still, like, when you see a ball, when everything developed that play, that ball needed to have a little bit more whip in it if he was going to do something more dangerous with it. Oh, God. Casa making me look like a genius to start with. Ponzo sends it in. Antonsen tries to win the header. He doesn't. Warmer's going to collect this, but who's there but Darling Casa? Is he going to be a provider here? Ball's in. Keeper makes a mess of it. And Kitching just lets it go out of play. We are coming up quickly onto halftime here. And all in all, looking the better of the two teams. Really solid performance from everybody but our two strikers, who I guess have been kind of foiled by the fact that they're foiled by the fact that they're playing against the back three, and so that's where kind of the late runs of Casa has been be able to help them, because he's helping create that at least man-on-man matchup and at least the overload. Ball in. Antonsen's there. Can't keep the header down. Still got to get that used to that. These big guys got to get used to kind of the whip balls coming in. So things are looking solid. As I'm thinking about changes here, what do we want to do? The other thing about Daniel is that he can play. He's short. He can play as a wide center back. So that gives us like another option where we can pull him back into that position. And in the 65th minute, we can do something like this. All right. Madu for him is fine. He can get pulled back here. Dewsbury can go there. How tall is he? 5'11". Not the best, but for a wide center back, we can work with it. And Chalmers can get replaced by Sonny Crane. Now, Cranes can play as a deep line playmaker, but what does he like to play as? He likes to be a box-to-box. Now, well, I know Pornzard likes to do some deep line playmaking from time to time, so we'll make that change. And with that, two more guys get their debuts. As time keeps ticking away. I'd be happy with a 2-0 victory here to start off their league presence. Also, I'd like the fact that I'm getting these guys in early, which always helps with team morale. Also, like the fact that we could bring a Daniel into that. Being able to pull a guy like that, and just the big, and have it be versatile. I guess that's the big thing about this team this year is versatility, right? Just having the ability and the versatility to be able to just kind of make things happen. And also to have like the depth where we don't have a big squad, but we have a deep enough squad that we can survive an injury crisis or two. Then again, I think like if we get like a bunch of people hurting, then who knows? It's Crane to Scott Dewsbury to Daniel. Finds Madu. We're going to look to switch the play over here. Yep, Hernandez, Ponzo, Epa, Casa. And there's the hat trick. My man Casa scores a hat trick on the first day of the season. It's always a good start when you see the captain doing that. And Epa, a beautiful through ball for him, and Casa. Still a lot to do to beat the keeper, but things looking very strong. You have to imagine, there it is. 3-0, a hat trick for Darling Casa. And just absolutely beautiful. You love to see it. You love to see that the guys are doing like this. The absolute scenes of it. All right, Leamington go top, Kittering, Bradford. I mean, we got some teams here I recognize. Nuneaton Borough, Bradbury United, I know. Sutton Coldfield, Peterborough Sports, Alvin Church is one we know. Liam Henderson does not want to go on trial with us. Oh, I'll have to see about that. By the way, Casa, you're great in front of goal. But he also, look at this, 86% pass completed and almost 14 kilometers traveled. The man's a machine. We had a very good game. I think he had a great debut. I'm running out of words to play. He's unbelievable. He's opening day hat trick. All right. So now comes the real question, folks. When do we come back? Well, let's look at the schedule and see. Ooh, Bradford, Avonchurch. One of these right here. Either the game before the FA Cup first qualifying round or the game after the FA Cup first qualifying round. Sounds like an absolute stunner for me. And a good start for that. As always, it's like going to be a cup game and that, because we really don't know who are... We really won't know for like a few more games into the season who is going to be the main rivals here. Here's something else we need to look at, though, if we can find it. Has all the teams played? All but one? Really? Can I look at stats? Wow. So once again, we have one of the higher salaries, but we don't have the highest salary. And we are right in line with some of these guys. Board from Storting is going to have a problem. So, until FA Cup time, folks, I've been James. You've been you. This has been TGWPIS FC. It's not how good you are. It's how good you want to be. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.